This week on Maker Update, a hard case corset, a secret door for cats, making cats out of cardboard, and how to make 3D printing safer for your cats. Hello and welcome back to Maker Update, the show where we share with you all of our favorite Maker projects, tips, and tools from across the internet so you can enjoy them too. I'm Tyler Weingartner and I hope you're all doing great. Let's get this show going with the project of the week. We don't spend nearly enough time talking about fashion on this series. That's probably because, speaking at least for myself, I don't know a lot about fashion. But I recognize that it's a wildly expressive field for some incredible and innovative designs, which is why I'm so grateful for Xyla Foxlin, who does understand fashion. Or at least understand it enough to respond to the creative prompt for this year's Met Gala, and created this gorgeous wooden dress inspired by Victorian-era furniture to be worn at the event. Her initial instinct was to begin prototyping the corset from leftover pieces of wood veneer, in hopes that it would look like wood but still be flexible enough to wear. But from her first prototype, the veneer reminded her that it's still incredibly fragile. Her next step was to reinforce the form using a sheet of fiberglass on the outside. You would think that this would obscure the wood, but since fiberglass is just fabric made from glass fibers, and the epoxy resin used to bond it has the same index of refraction, it just turns transparent, revealing the wood veneer underneath. It's a cool effect. Xyla is an engineer who has built lots of different things, from airplanes to rockets to boats. And because of that, she realizes that she can assemble this corset using the same technique as a stitch and glue boat, which is a method of using wire or zip ties to attach the panels together and then stabilize the form using epoxy resin. She uses a technique used by wooden trailer builders called poor man's fiberglass, which uses an overlayment of fabric and wood glue to do the same job as fiberglass and resin. Similar strength, but cheaper materials. This concept is already impressive, but things really start to leap off the page when she starts to incorporate the intricate details. These are also cut from veneer on her laser cutter, and are intricate filigree designs that will be added into the final design. The skirt follows a similar design concept, but at this point we need to address the elephant. Xyla wasn't able to finish the dress in time for this year's Met Gala because she was busy judging BattleBots. But maybe that isn't the point. She was able to build this dress and have someone model it who instantly understood the design and was able to run with it to best showcase its features. And what is any maker project other than a means of communication? I want this to exist in the world, and I want someone else to understand it. Both Xyla and Toya understood the assignment here. Check out the full video to see the full story. Now for some news, DigiKey has a new challenge posted around the XRP robotics platform. We've talked about this platform before, but this is a super accessible 3D printable robotics platform intended to be an easy first step into robotics. But the challenge is about pushing it beyond the basics. What can you build from here that goes beyond the basic scope of the project? The deadline for the contest is August 31st of this year, with one grand prize and 3 runners-up. Check out the contest page linked below for full details. More projects. Morley Kert is no stranger to secret door projects, but admittedly I'm drawn to cat-based projects like cats are drawn to catnip. But I also love this project because he's making use of old scraps to make this project sing. The clutch for this project is this antique mask thrift shop find that had to be modified to accept not only the camera to enable the computer vision aspects of the project, but also the ambient lighting. Everything in this project is a consideration for a smaller creature, and I think that's important. Consider who you're making the project for before you commit to the design. Paul Legier has a great video about how he designed this minimalist note-taking project based on an ESP32 microcontroller and an e-ink display. In particular, he also appreciated that the e-ink display was more calming to look at than a standard LCD display. Keeping track of your thoughts and projects is hard. You either need to make use of a note-taking app on your phone, But even then, you need to be extremely disciplined to not fall into the social media trap that all connected devices present. His project is designed around an easily sourceable framework of parts and components to create a device that makes it easy to carry and use on a day-to-day basis. He shares all of his 3D printable designs that are integral to this project. Do you ever look at all the cardboard boxes piling up in your online purchases and wonder, can I be doing something more with this? Resident artist of abandoned materials, Spagnola, has taken up this sword and is determined to make art from bulk delivery scrap. She wants to make a lion made from what is essentially garbage. And there's a really cool tip hidden in this video. Ali is able to preserve most of the details she needs for the lion's face and mane, but leans things out for the body and legs. Blender makes it easy to reduce your overall poly count, but doing it selectively takes talent. It's a tremendous process and worth checking out. Time for some tips and tools. If you're considering adding a resin-based SLA printer to your tool arsenal, there are some hard truths that you might be avoiding, particularly with regards to fumes and other chemical safety. Katz Creates has come to a point where they need to add this kind of printer to their workflow and has a great video to help you with the process. Understanding how to manage fumes, the workflow, and the process to make it safer for them, as well as their feline housemates. Valentin Felder has a great video on how to best use 3D printing in stop-motion animation. This is a small step in his ongoing project to create a stop-motion film using 3D printing, and we've talked about some of his techniques before. He was able to prototype and test each of the mouth forms of his animation in Blender before committing to print. There's still a seam where the parts meet, but that's easily cleaned up in post. And finally, if you have a Hub 75 RGB matrix display cooling its heels between jobs, consider turning it into an active scoreboard for the upcoming World Cup soccer competition, courtesy of this design by Liz Clark. She's got all the code, bill of materials, and everything else you'll need to make this a turnkey solution. Check it out. For this week's DigiKey Spotlight, we have another video in their Another Teaching Moment series about Hall effect sensors and how they work. The Hall effect is the production of a voltage when a conductor is in the presence of a magnetic field. In simple terms, a Hall effect sensor is able to detect the presence of a magnet. You may have heard about this phenomenon if you're into modifying game controllers. They're preferable to traditional potentiometer-based thumbsticks, which will wear out over time, causing stick drift. Check out this video to learn more. All right, and that is going to do it for this week's show. As always, you can get more info about every single one of these projects by checking out the links down in the description. While you're there, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Huge thanks as always to DigiKey for making this show possible and to you for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon.